Good morning, my dear students. Today's topic is governments and law, page 112. So, rules and laws. What is the importance of rules and laws in our life and in our society's existence? Rules and laws are important because they help protect people and ensure that everyone is treated fairly and treated in the same way. Therefore, in general, what we are saying in here is that rules can protect what? Can protect the people's safety, and at the same time, it can what? It can promote the human rights of the human people living around a given region. Yes, some rules tell us the things we are allowed to do and should do. Others tell us the things we are not allowed to do and should not do. So rules are of two types. Others, they inform us or they force us to do something, and the others, they advise us or they enforce us not to do something. Okay. When countries have rules like this, they are called what? Laws. Yes. Now these things that tell you what to do and not to do, they are called what? They are called laws of a country. Okay. So who is responsible for making laws in a country? Every day in any country there are a lot of rules which are being made. Yes. So who is making them? Let's we discuss. Law making, legislative and executive powers. Okay. What is legislative and what is executive? Remember, these are the branch of governments. We have three branches in a government. One is legislative and the other is executive, and the third one is what? The judiciary. These three organs of a government, they work together, and they will have what? A functional government. And then let's read it. Countries are run by governments, of course, who are responsible for making decisions about what policies should be followed. Policies means what? General rules that the government follows in order to administrate the country, whether it is educational policy, whether it is trade policy, whether it is international relations policies. In general, it is a rule or a generally accepted principle that a government follows in order to achieve the things that it needs to achieve. Governments are able to do what they need to do in order to run a country effectively, partly by using what? Laws. So, law is a tool. A tool for what? For a government in order what? In order to run a country effectively and properly. Without laws, then the government and the country is going to become lawless, and there will be no order. If there is no order, it means what? There can be no achievement in any sort of a field of a government. Yes. The part of government that has the power to make, remember in here, to make, alter means change, and repeal laws, repeal means reject or change it or discard it, is called what? The legislature. So who is responsible for making laws or for changing them or for repealing them? It is this organ which is called what? The legislature. This is sometimes known as a parliament. In some places it is called what? Parliament. In some places it is called what? A congress. In some places it is called what? An assembly or a council. So let's we choose the word parliament. Therefore, the parliament is responsible for what? For making laws. Therefore, this parliament is acting as what? As a legislative power. Yes. In some Islamic countries, it can be referred to as the Majlis. Law in Islamic countries are based on Sharia law. So, in Islamic country, this parliament or parliament, it is called what? Majlis. So, this Majlis is what? Responsible for making laws. Yes, a lot of laws which are applied, which are being used in a lot of Islamic countries, they originated from where? From the Islamic Sharia. Yes. Another part of the government has executive power. This means they have the power to enforce the laws made by the legislature and to make sure those laws are carried out. Yes. For example, let me give you now. There is a law now around Riyadh and in Saudi Arabia in general. Due to the coronavirus, there is a curfew. Yes, people are not supposed to move for after 3 p.m. until 6 a.m. in the next morning. Yes, this is a law. Who made this law? It was made by the Majlis or by the Majlis Shura, okay, by the legislature. They are responsible for making such kind of the law. The king and his Majlis, they did this law. Who is going to enforce it? The executive. The executive, like the police, are responsible to enforce the law. They make sure that the law are followed by the citizens of a country. So legislature, they make the law, and the executive, they enforce the law. So the executive power is invested on whom? On the police. Police are responsible. Okay. Most countries have constitution. This special document sets the standard that all laws have to follow. For example, if the constitution of a country states that everyone has the right to be treated equally, then the government cannot pass a law that would mean that some people were treated differently from others. So in general, what is the guide? We said in Islamic countries, the laws mostly originate from what? From the Islamic Sharia, because the Islamic Sharia and the Quran is what? The constitution of those countries, okay? But in secular countries, there is something which is called what? Constitution. They call it Dastur in Arabic. So from that constitution, they take the ideas. Based on the ideas from the constitution, then they make what? They make the laws. Yes. So the basis for laws in a lot of countries, in modern countries, is what? The constitution. A constitution also assigns a person or body to have the foremost authority to make decisions. One example of such a body is the Supreme Council of all the rulers of the Emirates in the United Arab Emirates. At the same time, the constitution assigns or gives the task to some authority in order to make what? To make decisions. Example, like what? The Supreme Council of all the rulers of the Emirate, and so on and so on. Okay, so the constitution is the source of the lawmaking in a lot of modern countries today. Okay, so then what is justice? So it's a very, very big idea in here. Justice. Justice in a country is the responsibility of the judicial system. Judicial system, which includes courts and judges. The judicial system ensures that all laws are allowed by constitution of the country, and it also makes sure that all laws are applied fairly to everyone. So that is justice. What we understand is that all laws are applied fairly to everyone. That is, there is no any resentment between the citizens of a country, that someone says that I am mistreated because of this and because of that. Justice, that is the basic ingredient for a harmony and peace and what? Prosperity in a country is justice. Al-adala. This is what it means. Okay, whose responsibility is to enforce the justice? It is the judicial system. Judicial system, it includes whom? Courts and the judges. They are responsible to make sure that justice is served in a given country. So we are having three parts of a government in here. Number one, I said legislative. They are responsible for making laws. Executive, they enforce the law. The judiciary, they make sure that the country is being administered in a way which is what? Justiceful. Okay, so this is what? this is within a country. Within a country, we have what? We have these three bodies which are regulating the day-to-day life of a country in an orderly and in a peaceful and justiceful way. What about international law? What's international law? International law is, of course, for countries. It's not for individuals, okay? International law is what? For countries. International law offers no, international law differs from a national legal system. National means what? Within a country, because it applies to countries rather than only to individuals or single organizations. So this is the main difference between international and national. International is for countries, while national is what? For individuals or organizations. International laws work like other laws in that they are there to offer protection and to make sure that everyone is treated fairly and equally. International law, it makes sure that every country is getting what? A fair share of what? A fair share of its interest in this world, and it's not being treated unfairly or not in an equal way. You understand the idea? So there are a lot of countries in this world. Some of them, they are very big and strong. So if there is no any international law, so this very big and powerful countries, they might what? They might misbehave and might mistreat those poor and weak countries. So the international law is going to protect what? The small and the weak and the vulnerable countries. You understand the idea? Yeah. The United Nations operate an international justice system. The United Nations responsibility is what? It has an international justice system which is available to do such things to assist member nations to reach a settlement if they are in dispute. So you have the United Nations. The United Nations is just like a judge of the world. If there is any dispute between different countries, it comes into the front in order to solve such kind of problems. International laws also offer protection to people and property when they travel to different parts of the world. For example, a person's human right might apply wherever they are in the world. There are internationally agreed minimum standards concerning the way any state should treat a person from another country. So we travel from one country to another country because we are protected by what? By the international law. We are not afraid for our life or for our property. Okay, so this is going to be enough for today. Page 112 and 113. In the coming video, we are going to complete our booklets, inshallah. Okay.